Her name is Gasheri, only 2 years old and quite unwell this morning. If she wasn't, she would be singing together with these angels as they proclaim their hope in God for their endurance this far. This is Christ Chapel Children's Home in Huruma. Founded by Gloria Ndunge and the husband 10 years ago, the dilapidated structures that have been the home of over 60 destitute children continues to hide the misery that has over the years stolen the joy of these innocent faces.
One time my ex-husband decided to begin his own ministry. Then he told me, "You're going to Roma." I said, "How?" "I'm working." He told me, "No, we're going to start a church in Roma." Then we came to Roma and we started a small church down Roma corner there. And actually we only had children in that church. We had like 40 children who used to come for our services, and I used to pastor to them every Sunday. And I started a feeding program. That was 1999. I didn't have much to give to the children, but I could cook something like porridge, prepare porridge, and call the kids around. We sit down, they take porridge, and as they take porridge, I could share the word of God and advise them on the principles of life. But I separated with my ex-husband, and everything was like going down. People, he was fighting to close up the children's home, and he even wrote to the donors that I had before. He wrote to them telling them the children's home does not exist. So they stopped sending me donations, and everything got stuck. I didn't have food. I didn't have money to pay bills. I didn't have money to pay for school for the kids, and I was stuck there. I didn't know what to do, where to go.
With the fallout, the struggles were far from over. Now Gloria was alone and the children needed her. She had to fend for them the best way she knew how.
I used to beg, from the guys around. I used to go to the shops. I used to go to my friends. There's a friend of mine called Naomi who runs a restaurant around here. She's the one who used to help me a lot. But she had reached a point of like, it's too much for me now. Because I could run to her anytime I don't have anything to give the children. She could talk to her friends and bring something small. But it was very little for the kids, Like we could, go without food, but porridge a day. So I was feeling like I've come to my end. This is the end of everything.
For the young ones, life seemed to be unforgiving, but as destiny would have it, hope was beckoning.
My ex-husband went to the children's department offices and he told them, "You should go and see there's no food in that children's home and you need to close it down because the kids are suffering." And, I was like, "God, you called me to do what I'm doing. And now, everything is going down. I don't know what to do." And the Alexis came, like 3 days before the guys from the children's home came. And when they came, I was just crying. The guys from the children's home came and all my stores were packed up. They were shocked to see the food I have in my stores. I even told them, "You can take some juices with you." I was so proud because, God had done it. So it was amazing. Actually, I don't know, because it was going to be closed.
The plight of the children at the home was quite dire. The home was about to be shut down. A lot of these children were about to go into the streets. So it was just fortuitous, I guess, that we came across the case. And one of the conditions for the home to remain open was that the lady who runs the home needed to prove that she could feed these children. So when the case came to us, their only simple request was for food. So I mean, the home houses currently about 60 kids. I think at the time the number was about half of that, but they were very young children. It was very dire. So we went in. We supported them with food. I remember one of the things that we did was we bought quite a lot of beddings. We bought mattresses for each of the children, mosquito nets, and that is how it just started.
Named after his firstborn daughter, Alexis, whose name means defending the need of the weak and the poor, Alexis Foundation took charge of the desperate state of affairs at the home.
Alexis Foundation is a combination of years of my journey in charity work. So in July, I was talking with Sydney, Ashira, my son, and out of the blues, I don't know how this conversation came about. I told him, no, I'm feeling bored. He told me, why don't you come and assist in some charity work, which I do. So I came and talked to Sydney, and I was shocked to learn that he had been doing charity work for a whole year, assisting some orphans. Namely, there was Christ Chapel Children's Home in Roma. And it came like a joke. He said, come to the office the next day. So I came, and I was shocked to learn he's been doing charity work quietly. I even did not know if he had an interest in charity work. And then we got talking, and he said, if this is what we are doing, let's make this let's make it more structured. That's when we decided to register a foundation. We thought of a name, and the name Alexis Foundation came up. Basically, it's named after his first-born daughter, who is my first-born granddaughter.
Alexis, my daughter, was born when I was still in school. My wife, who was my girlfriend then, was also in school. So we're lucky we had supportive parents, but for me, I always believe that I need to take care of my responsibilities. So I always tried. It was hard work, struggling to be able to raise a young child, and it taught me great lessons. And I realized that out there, in fact, one of our pillars is around children, and I have a very strong sense for children. I really love children, and Alexis Foundation basically focuses around children, and it is what I'd like to be able to focus in the medium to long term as well.
In Kikambala, Mombasa, the grandsons of Abraham also needed some defending, and defended indeed they were.
After Christ Chapel, we engaged another children's home in Mombasa called Grandsons of Abraham. It's a home run by Catholic nuns, and again, basically what they're trying to do is they try to rehabilitate street boys from Mombasa. And again, this fell within my scope of wanting to help young people or children to be able to grow up into normal adults and people who can be productive in society, and hopefully then they themselves would be able to give back to society, having taken cognizance of the fact that they themselves have been helped. Grandsons of Abraham, again, we did a feeding program. We have done visits to the home.
Father and son thought they had finally fixed the last nail on the despondency in the society, but they were wrong. Right in their backyard, poverty, disease, and extreme hopelessness was staring right at them.
Mimi kuzaliwa kwangu nimezaliwa 62. Nilikuwa na baby kina Margaret. Nimeshika wanawake wengi sana. Sio uongo, ilo kweli ya Mungu. Nimeshika Margaret, Winnie, Wangoi, Mase, Wajiro, kuna Betty, kuna Kagweri. Unaona hawa ni 7. Kuna wengine bado wanasawika. Na tena wacha hapa wako mpaka Molo. Nimeishi mpaka Molo pande hiyo. Nilikuwa nalindanga mang'ombe pande hiyo. Mama alikufia Mathare pale. Mama ndio tuliweza kuzika yeye na Ng'ata. Na ndugu yangu anayefuata mimi nyuma yangu.
Ule niletia mkate na maziwa.
Ulipata ndugu yake alikuwa anamfuata pia naye. Huyo naye alifariki tukapelekea mama na Ng'ata. Isipokuwa baba alipofariki hatukujua mahali aliwekwa kwa vile sisi tulikosa uwezo wa kufanya nini? Kumzika. Kaenda tukapiga ripoti police station. Gari ilikuja pale hivyo wakatuambia tumchukue. Alikuwa amelala pale. Tukamchukua tukamfunga mzuri tukamweka kwa gari. Tumweka kwa gari sisi tutaka kupanda hiyo gari ndio tuhakikisha mahali amewekwa. Serikali walituambia kazi ni yao. Sisi tukawaachia namna gani? Alienda namna hiyo. Halafu mimi pia nimeishi hapa hivi. Kuna mwingine vile nakaa hapa chini ati tunaokota hii nyota. Si unakuta hii nyota iko chini. Aliniambia maneno mbaya sana. Sasa vile tunapoongea na wewe namna hii, hujui mimi vile niko. Kumbe nimeshtuka nimekupiga na una habari na mimi ama wewe umeniponga mimi. Sasa huyu jamaa alinipiga chupa za maji. Akavunja macho yote. Mimi hata nilikuwa najisikia kinyata. Kujiangalia leo niko na nguo za kinyata pia. Nilimalizanga huko mwezi 3. Shosho ndio aliniachilianga hata sikulipa kitu yoyote. Rudi pande hii kapumzika pande hii ila nilikuta ameshatoroka. Sasa mimi nikarudi nao na kupumzika hapa pole. Najitahidi kama nitapata kitu ya kula wanajua sio. Kwa vile hakuna mwingine nalilia nasema kweli. Mimi huwa nalala saa nyingine najikuja hapa hivi pande. Ndugu yangu anapumzika pale.
Na hii moto uogopi inaweza choma huko.
Hii sasa nimeiweka najikuta nimeisave. Haiwezi leta maneno.
Ndio kusaidia usiku
Juu ya ile mvua inamwagikia mimi. Si lazima uwe na kitu kama hiyo. Ndio mimi nakaa tu namna hiyo. Ikishakaa hivi.
Sasa unalala tu.
Mimi nalala nakuta nimejilala. Kama iko kabrangeti si unakuta kako hapa. Saa zingine ndio najikunia nakuta.
Na kukinyesha utanyeshewa miguu.
Nanyeshewa sasa nitafanya nini na nalala namna hiyo nje. Sina la kufanya, mimi nitavumilia nasema Mungu yuko. Na hiyo ndio mimi najitaidia kwa njia ina hiyo. Kwa vile sina mahali ila nitasema nitakuwa ila natakanga nifunge hapa. Nitengeleze niweke kajuala namna hiyo. Sasa hata nikijikunja hapa hivi mimi nakuta nimeshaamuka. Mungu yangu ndio ananiamulianga mimi naweza kupata kwa kumwombea Mungu kabisa ule Mungu wa kweli. Mungu umeamuru mimi nimekula chakula. Na sio kula nimekula chakula yako sana. Hata nguo umekuja. Swali hata ndugu yangu hapa.
Unapata chakula.
Iko wakati mimi napatanga lakini kama leo
Saturday
kila Saturday nisikulangi. Kila Saturday yote tangu uanze kufanya hiyo kazi ya kunipatia hiyo Saturday yote mimi sipatangi. Lakini wakati mwingine ile kweli ya kuamua kabisa.
Labda wanakupatia ngoja tuone ni tujue hiyo shida iko wapi.
Deep within the deep sea slums in High Ridge, Esther Wangeshi, 25 years old, had been through untold suffering that was taking a toll in her health.
None kahio kau no unyuage. Leo nĩ hiũ. Nĩ icamuku. Ũkaũkare. Tene no nyoithie. Nĩ arĩonaga kana nĩ kwaga. Arioma. Tondũ akorwo nĩ karia nĩ tũkũgeria tũne. Wakorwo nĩ kwaga ũgakwaga. Nĩ kwaga kana nĩ mũterete? Koguo nĩ kwaga.
Atere. Uthi utumane kanyama kare. Nditugo.
Ĩrĩa nĩ warugire.
Na utige twakora.
Twa maguta.
Utige ya kugora karia ni kuigerera.
Ngeci no le thie kore. Ithe ndiakũria nĩ ũkendia indo hara rũgongo rĩngĩ.
Nilikuwa nauza nini maharagwe, yaani vile mtu anazunguka vile mtu anapaka maharagwe mahali na karatasi unachagua na unaipaka kwa karatasi. Mimi naomba Mungu nipate kazi yako.
Her dreams were shattered, robbed of her joy and youth, but life was creeping back. As for this Esther, she came to Nairobi in pursuit of her dreams 70 years ago. It was all rosy until her age could not allow any more and numerous misfortunes kicked in.
Na juna mea tondu ninye nina vina na ninye munini ekainende kamande wea na dhina manda wea na kwata wea noka na mea ingwatie wea ne wathio thukuni yene na mathukumi yene na ya ciana inathela na kondoki etene kone noko nitiitwe na tutu nini twa mwana wakwa inyake ni wetiwe na juu kamwana mwana kiola mku kalaka ku kau keana.